Welcome to Zandvoort, a happy hunting ground for a Lotus legend, Jim Clark. Following wins in 1963, 1964 and 1965, Clark claimed the maiden victory for the iconic Lotus 49. Who will triumph today by the Dutch seaside? It's time for Grand Prix Legends live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Peter Mackay and I'm delighted to be joined in the booth by Sam Ryman. Behind the scenes is our director Sean Ambrose using camera angles perfected by Dougie Beers. Now, Zandvoort is as picturesque as it is challenging down by the Dutch seaside, and here is our GSRC track guide to tell you a bit more about it.
Welcome to Zandvoort. This track just to the west of Amsterdam fell into obscurity, but is getting new life in recent times thanks to a resurgence of Formula One fans in the country. Back in the mid-20th century, it hosted the Formula One Dutch Grand Prix for nearly 30 years. Granted, it was on a much faster and more flowing layout. Nowadays, the 5 different versions which are available to be run are mostly tight and technical. The shortest one is a little under a mile, while even the longest only stretches to a little over 2.5 miles. These tiny lengths, plus the narrowness of the track and its lack of long straights, make passing almost maddeningly difficult. The 2 most common spots are Tarzan, which is the first corner, and Hans Ernst, which is the final chicane. Even though it has recently been updated in the real world with more banking, even on the old track here on iRacing it has an unusual amount of camber for a road course. The 2 aforementioned turns, along with Hugenholtz and Schieflock, allow drivers to carry more speed than you'd expect. It also gives drivers a chance to take slightly unusual lines. Like most old-school tracks, runoff is minimal. Mistakes in a few of the faster turns tend to allow no time for recovery and a big repair bill. Another unique quality is the fact that Zandvoort is literally next to the beach on the North Sea. Therefore, the sand easily blows its way onto the track surface and lessens grip. It's a tricky place to race, and even trickier circuit to win at. But with the beautiful surroundings, great history, and a mob of enthusiastic fans donning orange, you can't help but want to go visit this fantastic venue.
So there you are, a little bit more about this beautiful seaside venue that works its way through the dunes of Zandvoort, beside the town sharing the same name. Sam, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here in the Lotus 49 Grand Prix Legends commentary box. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the drivers and what they're going to face today here at Zandvoort?
Yes, thank you, Peter. It's great to be back here, and as we watch an aerial view of the track as practice finishes up, you can see it's a 13-corner circuit. It looks twisty on the track map, and it is twisty in real life. Really, the best passing opportunity down here is turn 1. That's at the end of the pit straight, the corner known as Tarzan. However, these Lotus 49s are very dicey race cars, and that means that if a driver makes a mistake in front of you, which is very likely at some point on the circuit, you can try and take the initiative and make a move, and the drivers will have a little over 20 laps to try and make something like that happen here today.
They will. A little bit of patience is always a virtue here in the Grand Prix Legends series. Let's take a look at the championship standings, and it has been Quick Mick Claridge who has dominated so far, a 100% record, and leads the championship by 45 points from Rob Olenek, with Michel Durignon 60 points behind, followed by Bill Tyler and Chris Murakami. It's been a great start to the season for Mr. Kamikaze himself. Sam, how are the F2 championship standings looking right now?
Yeah, well, we've got those pulled up here for you right now, and you can see they are very close, always tight midfield battles over here. So we have Chris Hengler currently 6 points ahead of Rene Lopez, only 8 points ahead of Lost Olsen, who races from Denmark. Andre Schumacher is back there 4th, only 10 points back, and keeping it close and tight after the opening 3 rounds of the season is Emmanuel Pereira, just 14 points back.
And finally, let's have a look at the Nations Cup. And due to Mick Claridge's domination of the start of the season, United Kingdom lead the United States by 25 points, with France 42 points in arrears in 3rd. Germany are 4th, and the Finns are in 5th. So the drivers right now are out setting their qualifying times. The drivers have 2 laps of the circuit in blissful solitude. But let's have a quick look at the race details, at what the drivers are going to face today. We're now, goodness me, we're already a third of the way through this Grand Prix Legends series. Just 21 laps here. It's going to be a quick race here at Zandvoort, and critically an open setup, so the drivers can tweak and tune the car exactly to their liking. And a lot of the long-standing members of the Lotus 49 community very helpful by providing what is normally such closely guarded information. So about 5 minutes left in this qualifying session right now. No time set as yet, but won't be long before we get our first drivers over the line. All the drivers are in their own private session, so they don't need to worry about traffic in qualifying. It's just get it up to speed and set the best lap you possibly can. And Sam, I guess, as you mentioned, turn 1 is the main overtaking opportunity, which isn't very much. So I guess here, qualifying, the track position is going to be vital.
Yeah, it is, and I think this is a single split we have going on. iRacing scared us. It made it seem like there were only 17 drivers in the session, whereas in actuality there are 29. And you really, if this is a single split, and again I believe it is, you really don't want to be starting towards the back of the field, because there are going to be a couple of drivers, especially with how tricky this track is and how tricky this car is, who may be fighting for control, may have the odd slip up or two. And if you're qualifying any worse than 20th or so, you might have to deal with that in those opening laps. So I think it is quite critical here for these drivers to try and get a good lap time, especially those wanting to take advantage of the fact that Mick Claridge isn't here today to score points.
That's a very good point. No Mick Claridge this week. We knew that he was going to have an absence at some point, but that has, that provides an opportunity for Ove Trengerade, and also watch for the number 1 of Rob Olenek as well, who's had a good start to the season. So see, we're watching Laust Olsen in the number 7 car coming in to the Hans Erst Bocht, or Hans Erst Bend in English, if you wish, round towards the Kumo right-hander. So we see Andrew Schumacher. Now this is one of my favourite paint schemes, that Andrew Schumacher car. The Matra Tyrrell, the Elf Matra Tyrrell, as we look at Ove Trengrade. What can he do? He's set a 134.273, sits on pole position by just 8 800ths, my apologies, of a second right now. And goodness me, Trengrade and Olenek over 7/10 of a second ahead of their nearest competitor right now. It's Cortanemi in third. What can Colin Bentley do? A 136 flat. He goes 9th.
Yeah, these lap times around 1.5 minutes, so there is plenty of time to get out there and do your out lap, do your first time lap, and do a second time lap. However, if you mess it up, if you run off at a certain point, that can put your back up against the wall a little bit. I saw Eugenio Massa in the number 23 car had a moment in the final corner. He's just started his second lap now, and he's got a bit of damage on the front of his car. Can't go back to the pits to get it repaired. I don't think he'd have enough time to get another lap in, so we continue to watch the drivers come across the line and click off their second laps. Our timing and scoring, which is available at GSRC.tv, will keep you abreast of where all of the drivers are. But as you can see right now, no one has been able to beat Ove Trengrade.
Eric Leukel looking quick there. Where did he go? I don't think that second lap counted actually, but Eric Leukel, of course, relatively local driver as well to this circuit. Let's get Marco Kika over the line, 135.4 for him. He goes to 6th place, so he improves. What can Laust Olsen do? Back in 14th at the moment is the 7th seed, so he'll want to try and improve on his lap time now. Through to the line, winding up that Cosworth DFV V8. He improves a 136.211, and that lifts Olsen up. It doesn't actually. Yes, it does. It lifts him up 3 places. Randy Hoff, what can he do? The Canadian in the number 24 car. Round Ari Loindijk Bend he goes, and I don't think he's on a hot lap here. No, he pulls out of it. So it looks like we're getting close to an order here. Let's see what Chris Hengler can do. Can he improve on his lap time up to the line he goes, winding it up the gearbox. Got to get a good exit there out of the final corner. Arie Luyendyk, he does improve a 136.461 for Chris Hengler. Clutch lap time under pressure.
Yeah, and Terry Worth just finished his lap, so I think that is going to complete qualifying with 45 seconds left on the clock for the drivers to catch their breath. And Ove Trentre to celebrate because he's going to be starting on pole position. But of course, a lot of power in these lightweight cars. Starting on pole does not necessarily mean you're going to lead into the first corner.
A very good point indeed. Getting that launch, it's not a long run down to turn 1, so that launch is going to be really critical indeed. Let's have a look then at how they line up then for round 4 of the season here in the Grand Prix Legends Championship. Ove Trengerade will start on pole position alongside Rob Olenek. I think we're going to have a mighty duel between those two starting from the front row. Row 2 will see Topi Kortenemi and Yuri Geisen. Good qualifying from Yuri. Row 3 will be Andrei Schumacher and Marco Kika. Row 4 sees Togo Hisada and Gary Thiel. And finally row 5, Colin Bentley and Michael Cook start on the 5th row. Sam?
Yeah, turn the page number 2. There you go. It looks like Lars Olsen is on pole position, but he's not. He's starting 11th place alongside Bill Tyden, and number 2. He'll be wanting to come up through the field. Terry Worth will start 13th ahead of Tron Olsen, and then Chris Hengler will be starting 15th place ahead of John Van Dorn. Dave Cohen will be starting from 13th place ahead of Emmanuel Pereira, and Andres Bruno and Eric Lucal will round out row number 10.
Finally, just a couple more drivers to see. Row 11 will be Michael Griesinger and Randy Hoff. Roland Wallbank and Andrew Eng start on the 12th row. Row 13 sees Kenneth Carlson and Patrick Byrne. And row 14 will be Eugenie Massa and Robert Reynolds, with Thomas Schaffner starting 29th. So a decent grid here at Zandvoort. And 29 cars around Zandvoort is more than plenty. It's a twisty circuit, as we see Rob Olenek and Ove Trengerade parked on the front row, eager to get going. Got to be careful in these opening sections. You got a lot of left, right, a lot of changes of direction, but cold tyres. You got to let the tyre come in, get it up to temperature so that it gets the grip on the surface. Isn't that a majestic sight? A whole row of 2 whole rows of Lotus 49s. What would that be worth in real money? My goodness. Probably more than a GDP of a medium-sized country. So valuable is a real Lotus 49 nowadays, but we've nearly got all of our drivers ready to go. The lights will be prepared. We'll be ready to go. Lights are up then. Ove Trengerade on pole position, and off they go. Puffs of smoke as the drivers launch off the line. It's a great start from Trengerade from pole in the number 3 car. Olenek fits in second in the number 1. Yuri Geisen, a good start up to 3rd as they come around Tarzan corner.
Yeah, there's different lines you can take through Tarzan, so all of the drivers giving each other plenty of space. But now it's single files down through these 2nd and 3rd corners down into these Hugenholtz. So hopefully all of the drivers are able to navigate their way through cleanly. It looks like they are so far, and now they go on down the long straight down to Schieplatt.
Yeah, Jim Clark always said that Zandvoort was just a circuit made for the Lotus car. You really need to use the minimum amount of road possible. Lots of switchback corners. And this car was one of the best in the business at the time in the changes of direction. But round then into bend 9. Oh, we've got Yuri Geisen just had a little bit of a lock up there, but he's just hung on to 3rd place. It looks like he's got a little bit of damage on the front nose cone, but that might just be going over the curbs. Nothing too much to worry about, but he's just about maybe. Here comes Schumacher. Schumacher round the outside going into the chicane. Can he fit it around? No. Yuri Geisen defends. Very, very clever from the man in the pink and white machine with the blue cap helmet.
Yeah, but while these two battle already, it allows the top 2 to run away a little bit. So 3rd on back has a bit of a train behind them coming around to complete lap 1 of 21 through this long right-hander, which they've banked a little bit more now, I think, ahead of the Formula 1 cars going there in real life. And lap 1 completed. Our big move, I think, is Eric Lukel. He started in 20th already up to 15th.
Yeah, great start there from Eric Local for sure. Now, this is kind of what we expected. Ovi Trengrade and Rob Olenek are proper stalwarts of the Grand Prix Legends series and really specialists of this particular Lotus 49 and its wonderful quirks. And off we go at the front. Ovi Trengrade and Olenek lead away, but we're going to ride on board now with Andre Schumacher in the Matra Tyrrell liveried machine. Looks absolutely fantastic indeed, and he's trying to hunt down Yuri Geisen right now. Of course, Yuri will have good knowledge of this circuit, being a man from the Benelux region. Zandvoort, a very important circuit in motorsport in that region of the world, as Andre Schumacher just fills the mirrors of Yuri Geisen. But Yuri's he's recovered nicely after that. A little bit of a wobble on lap 1, but I think, Sam, it's going to be a two-car battle for this win.
Yeah, I'm almost starting to wonder if we'll end up with a 3-car battle for third as well, because it looks like Marco Kika is being a little bit defensive against the drivers who are behind him. So we'll see if they start racing for 6th place. That might cause P3, 4 and 5 to run away. But right now, as it stands, we still have a nice little train going from third on back. Still plenty of time and plenty of great racing left to see here, and a very clean start by all drivers in this 29-car field.
Yeah, very, very clean indeed. Fastest lap of the race from Rob Olenek. Fantastic stuff there. 134.426 as they wind through. Now, we know that it's often comes down to who makes the least mistakes in these cars. They are so tricky to drive on the limit. Just modulating that brake is so difficult. The change of direction can be tricky from time to time as well. But this is top quality stuff from Trengrade so far in the number 3 car. Whoa! How do you like that, Sam? Bit of oversteer there. Big opposite lock.
And one of our first casualties of a race was a number 2 car of Bill Tyler, working his way through the Ali Lurendijk turn last lap. He got a little bit of oversteer, tried to correct it, and ended up in the wall on the outside, flipped over, and that has taken Bill Tyler, driver of a number 2, out of this race.
So let's look at the battle for P3. Yuri Geisen still holding off Andre Schumacher, but going a little bit on the defensive there on the braking zone as we see Cortinemi and
another car in the wall.
Oh.
Randy Hugh, who was running in 20th place, he's getting it back on track. I think he might be carrying a little bit of damage.
Let's get a look then at what happened then to Randy Hoff. He's very fast part of the circuit here into the Scheiflach corner, and then does he get a little bit of the curb on the inside? No, it's going to be at turn 9. Very tricky corner, just loses it a little bit. Now, does he get collect? How strange.
Yeah.
Oh no, and then he asks for the power and the car goes, oh no thank you. That's a great example of just how violent the power delivery is. Now, this was the first iteration of the Cosworth DFV engine. Generates lots of power, but I wouldn't say it's got the drivability of a modern day engine.
More trouble here. The number 4 of Gary Thiel. He was running 8th in plate. 8th. Here we go down into Tarzan. We're hearing he may have had a bit of help. He had the driver behind him.
Oh dear. Now, we know this. You mentioned, Sam, there's a lot of lines here to use at Tarzan Bend. And, got more than a help. Oh, my goodness me. That is a plough job. Wow. That is a Mr. Plough. Homer Simpson, that one. Wow. Oh, dearie me. Game over then for our 4th seed.
The leaders are right on top of each other. They almost had an identical moment in the previous turn, almost made contact nose to tail, and we've already seen on lap number 4 here that you can't get away with that in the Lotus 49 cars. Rob Olenek with the number 1 on his car, and he wants position number 1. Ove Trantre knows it, and he's going to try and go defensive on the inside down into Tarzan. Rob Olenek going to pull to the outside. We've seen even the most professional Formula 1 drivers collide in this term, racing for the lead in the past. And this time around, though, these two drivers able to do through it cleanly, and Rob Olenek is able to make a pass, stick around the outside, is he? Well, now he has the inside corner. He has the whole track to himself as he goes into the Hugenholtz. New leader, Rob Olenek.
Fantastic racecraft there from Olenek. Really used the clever attitude there, just thinking 2 or 3 corners ahead and going for the switchbacks there. Really impressive indeed. Now, can Olenek break away? I wouldn't suspect so. I would imagine Trengerade, our pole setter, will have the pace to live with him. This is a brilliant duel here that we're witnessing here in the Dutch sunny seaside as well. Here at Zandvoort, cut into the sand dunes. Also fantastic fried fish on the seaside here. Local delicacy. Very nice indeed. And exactly what would be required after a hard day's motor racing. Anyway, down towards the... Oh, goodness me. Trengerade, big lock up there, but let's go back to Kika and Hesada having a battle there. Hesada in the patriotic white and red Honda classic livery. Very nice indeed. Marco Kika in the Valvoline colours, just ahead in 6th place with the red in the number 6. That's some nice symmetry as well. But interesting, Yuri Geisen has lost that 3rd place, and Schumacher and Cortinemi have got through, so maybe a mistake somewhere for Yuri Geisen.
Yeah, that happened right at the start of his lap. We weren't able to cover it because we were watching the change for the lead, but yes, sure enough, Yuri this lap went from 3rd down into 5th place, where he's found a little hole there for himself to run in, and if he does have a pace, he's got plenty of time to try and get 3rd back.
Oh, Sam, you miss nothing, my friend. You really do. You've got eyes on the back of your head. I don't have the brain capacity to watch more than one thing at once. Okay, so we're looking back at Cortinemi from the gearbox of Andre Schumacher. Look at this, wonderfully fast all the way through, and the car's getting loose, it's getting light, and then you've got to just throw it into Schivlach, a really tricky corner down towards Masters Bend. Of course, this was home to the Marlborough Masters here at Zandvoort, which is won by Jos Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and David Coulthard, no less, as well. But Andrew Schumacher having to go on the defensive here. Tell you what, Sam, Cortinemi looks racy.
Oh, Eric Lukowitz had the problem. That's a shame. The number 11 card started 20th. They've gotten up as high as 13th position. Not racing anyone here, so I'm going to guess this is a solo mistake.
I wonder if he maybe just had some sort of technical issue. Yes, he has. Oh, the car goes straight on. Oh, that's violent. Oh, my goodness me. That's like a washing machine. Oh. Does he stick the landing, though? Does he stick the landing? Yeah, it's good.
I'm going to guess 24 flips.
That was a lot.
Yeah, someone slow that down on the replay and try and count that for me. Hey, our leaders are battling again. By the way, so it's 3rd place, but obviously the leaders take precedence. They're putting a lap there on a car that's had a bit of struggles.
Great respect, though, from the lap car to give so much room. Actually almost went off the circuit there to make sure the leaders got through clean. That's fantastic respect. And what we see very much here in the Grand Prix Legends series, if you have an iRacing account and you want a new challenge, do come and join us here in the Grand Prix Legends series. Open to all. Enter here 1:30 p.m. GMT every Saturday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Come and join us. It's fantastic racing as well here on the Global Sim Racing channel. But this is a great battle up front between Olenek and Trengerade. Trengerade was our pole sitter, don't forget. Olenek alongside him on the front row. And Trengerade, I wonder, Sam, is Trengerade just getting his notebook out now and just writing down a couple of notes, thinking, okay, Rob, I know you're good there. I know I'm maybe a bit better here. And just doing his research before we go later in the race. We're only 1/3 of the way through, so a good time for him to just get a bit of information on his rival.
I always feel in situations like this, there's a lot more pressure being the lead car. It's a lot easier to make mistakes, and I think we have been witnessing that in this battle. Rob Olenek, I think, missed a couple of apexes this lap, whereas when Trengerade was leading, he was making a couple of mistakes. And you see there, even the lockup from Olenek down into Tarzan. remember, even though you say Trent was on pole position, that was only by 0.08 of a second. There's a big slide there through turn 2 by Olenek. So these drivers are closely matched. The cars are unpredictable, no matter how talented the driver is you put behind the wheel. And as long as these two don't have mistakes, I have a feeling this is going to be a battle that we watch throughout the rest of the time, as well as this battle for third on back. Trent's gone off. He's back on, but he's lost a lot of time.
He's recovered. Let's get a look then at the replay of Ove Trengerud then. He's the following car, and you were right, Sam. Olenek was really under pressure and made a mistake at Tarzan, but let's get a look at it then. He's in the draft. Is Ove Trengerud. He's right in the draft, which is not absolutely ideal when you're in this change of direction. Does he get a little bit of a bump? Puts a... Wow. Goodness me. Well, he is Scandinavian. He does like a bit of oversteer, that's for sure. My goodness me.
Yeah, Topi's going backwards. Topi was in third place, and they just had a side-by-side battle going through Vodafone, and he's dropped back into 5th position.
So Yuri Geisen then moves back up a position. Andre Schumacher still holding that last spot on the podium. Very much best of the rest competition here. But Kortenemi, I think he's looking racy. He really is. But Geisen in the front of him right now in the number 5 car. Through they go, through Ari Lewandijk Bend, down towards Tarzan. Will they be doing the war cry? Who knows? Down on the brakes, and you've got to lunge. You've almost got to have the bravery of Tarzan there to go late on the brakes and go up the inside. But Kortenemi goes a little bit wide. Yuri Geisen gets the nice tight line, holds onto the spot, and they all follow in line astern. Yuri Geisen taking a little bit of earth on the inside there. No harm done.
So this is a battle from 10th to 7th with Schumacher, Geisen, Korteneni, Kika and Hisada. If it all goes south, Michael Cook will be the one who benefits him back on all in his own in 8th position right now. But right now, these drivers being well behaved. It is lap number 9 of 12, still over half a race to go. And this is definitely going to be entertaining to watch, as well as the battle for the lead. Only half a second still separating our top 2.
Yeah, I thought we'd be right on board with Togo Hisada running the beautiful, I think wonderfully elegant Honda Classic Grand Prix colours from the 1960s, when Honda were still just after they built Suzuka, actually, when they went into Grand Prix racing, when the company was really starting to get into its stride. Oh, dearie me, that's close there. Oh, goodness me, Kika's been barged out the way by Yuri Geisen. I wonder if we can get a little look at that, possibly. We'll try. Let's have a look then. What happened then between Yuri Geisen and Marco Kika? Did Kika make the mistake himself? Well, Kortenemi's about to go by, and Geisen gets all kinds of loose, and that allows Kortenemi by in that orange and green car. And then look at this. Kika's got the inside, cuts inside, and Geisen, well, to be fair, Geisen just cuts back, and Kika just left out to dry there.
Yeah, I don't know if that was contact or if that was him taking a bit of evasive action to prevent contact and then paying the price because of it. But either way, he's still in the race. We've still got a nice battle for third. We've still got a great battle for the lead. Trentray has rebounded from his mistake and is right on the back of Olyanek's car as they work their way through turns 8 and 9.
Indeed, yeah, I tell you what, that big save from Ove Trengerud, and believe me, viewers, that was a monumental save, a save for the archives. Huge oversteer up on the grass, and that has given him the opportunity to stay in this battle, and he's putting big pressure on Olenek, and Olenek would have seen in his mirrors Trengerud have that monumental moment, and he'll know that he's getting the pressure put on him now. It's just such a stunning battle. We're about to go over half race distance now here at the Zandvoort. So we said it was going to be fast and furious as they go around Ari Lewandijk Bend, the fastest ever qualifier at the Indianapolis 500, 237 miles per hour average speed. The same year that our dear Richie Hearn made his debut at the Indy 500.
And as they work their way through turn 1, this corner named after a man who swung through the trees with apes and a lady called Jane, they come out of Tarzan, and here we are, Ove Trentre watching Rob Olyanek, knowing he's still got half a race left to try and make his move. This battle going on about 12 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, such as the incredible pace of the leaders.
So this still rages on, the battle for third place, and this has been the drive of the season so far from Andre Schumacher, really enjoying himself here at Zandvoort. It's a circuit that some people love and some people, well, the opposite of love, shall we say. It is very much a divisive circuit, but Andre Schumacher doing really, really well right now. But Courtenay, he's recovered. He's had a couple of little wobbles here and there, but he's now trying to make his case for the podium as they come around Masters Bend and down towards turn 9. A really almost an opportunity where you have a lot of different lines where you can send it up the inside and do a little bit of a block pass. But as you can see, look at all the amazing variety of lines the drivers are using here, Sam.
Now, people are going to hate me for doing this, but I am going to point out the fact that Andre Schumacher has a number 19 on his car, which means his I rating is not necessarily as high as those around him. Sometimes you throw that out of a window. Sometimes, you know, a driver might be a lot better or worse at a particular track or a particular car than their I rating seems to indicate. But I am going slightly concerned by the fact that this pack of cars is stuck behind the number 19 and the two leaders have gapped out about 12 seconds. Andre Schumacher's driving brilliantly, but do the drivers behind him have a bit of extra pace at all? You know, are they going to start getting impatient in these final 10 laps? I'm not sure. I think Andre has been driving beautifully. He's obviously worked his way up from 5th to 3rd, but I don't know. It's just something to ponder.
It is a very interesting talking point, Sam, that's for sure. I'm not even playing devil's advocate, perhaps, but I think he's there on merit. Honestly, I do. I think the guys behind him don't have any superior pace at this particular track, and maybe a bit of a Zandvoort specialist is Andre Schumacher, but like you say, doing a great job. And that Matra Tyrrell, the Jackie Stewart livery, bringing him lots of good fortune, which is nice to see as well. Courtenay, I have to say, I'm a big fan of Courtenay's design as well. It's like a flying Tic Tac packet.
Yeah, my Lotus 49 that I have personally on iRacing is bright orange and yellow. I always like the paints that stand out a little bit. All right, so we're coming to complete, well, we're already over halfway, actually. The leaders are coming through the final turn now to complete lap number 12. So I think no matter what the I rating or talent level of the driver ahead of you, this is where you've got to start getting a little bit aggressive, because there aren't really that many great overtaking opportunities around here, as Rob Olyanek sets the fastest lap of a race, but still only has a 3/10 of lead gap over Ove Trandre. So every time you head into a passing opportunity like Tarzan now, Peter, I think you've got to have a go at it, because you're running out of opportunities this late on in the race.
Yeah, I think in making that move into Tarzan at turn 1, it's really, really vital to get the best run you can out of Arie Luyendyk Bend, the final corner, like you say, that's been given a bit of extra banking for the Formula 1 upcoming race that was meant to be in 2020 and hopefully be in 2021. So yes, I think you're right. Now's the time to start taking a bit more risk.
Let's go back to 3rd, because they've got to work their way by a lap car here. The number 26 is trying to stay out of the way. Nicely done. All 4 go around the outside.
Wow, brilliant formation flying. That was like watching a Red Arrows demonstration there. That was really impressive indeed. Getting through from all. That was fantastic stuff there from Robert Reynolds. You could not get a more awkward place to have a kind of lap car incident there, and Robert did a brilliant job there to allow the leaders through. But Andre Schumacher still continues to lead this pack. He's done so all race. He's not blinked once. He's not made a mistake, and he's under big pressure from Courtenay, Guyson and Togo Husado. Martin Kika's just about recovering now in 7th place, but got a little bit of work to do if he wants to catch up. But back at the front, it's been a superb battle between Olyanek and Trengerade, and you'll see them starting to put in more best laps of the race. Now, the reason for that is the tyre doesn't really wear all that much over this race distance, but the one thing that... Oh, look at Guyson! Guysson's locked up and he's had to... Oh, Guyson did well to modulate the brake there and not crash into Courtenay in that orange car. Wow, that was close. But yes, coming back to the point, these cars are obviously hugely powerful. Cosworth DFV V8 engine, and it burns fuel at a dramatic rate. And because it burns fuel so quickly, the car reduces in weight over the race, so therefore gets a little bit quicker. So we should see some quick lap times over the next few laps.
Yeah, of course, the thing that I found interesting when Rob Oljanek set that fastest lap a couple of laps ago is Ovo Trantre was only 3/10 behind him, so I'm like, oh, it's really close there between those two.
Goodness me, that was exhaust pipe up nose cone there with Cortinemi in the 8 car. I think maybe the Ryman theory, Sam, is starting to come true. Maybe Schumacher is the cork in the bottle here. Who knows? We'll definitely tell over the next few laps. And like you say, definitely harder to be the lead car. You're the one who's got to set the pace, and you're always looking in your mirrors rather than looking ahead. But still, the battle rages on between Oljanek and Trengrade. They were separated by just 0.08 of a second in qualifying, and well, as you can see, after 14 laps of 21, well, they're separated by about the length of a Lotus 49. In fact, slightly less now, is Trengrade really starting to lay on the pressure, but it's trying to find that overtaking spot. It's just so difficult, Sam.
You know, Rob Oljanek had a big slide through Tarzan on the previous lap. He didn't replicate that this lap, but fortunately for him, turn 2's not really a great passing opportunity, so Trentre couldn't do anything about it. This isn't a matter, I don't think, of Trentre biding his time. He wouldn't be too frightened, I don't think, to lead this race and have the pressure of Oljanek behind him, because these are two drivers very familiar to the series. We've called their names multiple times here on GSRC and in Lotus 49 races. They both know each other, they both know this car, they likely both know this track. They've had the whole week to do practice and races here, so they're both aware that they're on top form here. They are driving this car as close to perfection as it can possibly be driven. So I think Trentre is just trying to make sure that when the opportunity does present itself, it's a safe one. Here we go, 6 laps left to go. He's stuck up right on the gearbox of Oljanek here. He's forced to back off, or else he'd hit Oljanek through the final curve there. Not able to get the run that he needs. He might poke his nose out. This is a move. Yeah, here we go. On the final lap, he'd do that a lot more aggressively, I think.
Yeah, that looked a bit like a dress rehearsal to me, Sam, I think. It was definitely had a run there, but just thought, he says, yes, maybe I can do that move. But it all comes down to that run out of Arie Luyendyk. But look at Cortinemi with the orange helmet. Is he going to take a lunge? No. Schumacher is really good. I tell you what, I think Schumacher's just got his gearing absolutely perfect. Just got that little bit of an edge where he needs it at the danger point. Tarzan, we've mentioned turn 1 is a great opportunity, or one of the only main opportunities to make a move here at Zandvoort. So you've got to get the car geared to be have as little vulnerability to your competitors as possible. And I think Andrew Schumacher has just got that just about perfect right now as well. This has been a superb battle for the podium. And I tell you what, Sam, whoever gets this last spot in the podium between these 4 cars, they're going to have deserved it, that's for sure.
And if they all wipe each other out, Kika would get it. He's still in 7th place, but ever since Kika had that off at the chicane a couple of laps ago, he's kind of been out of this battle. Remember, it was 3rd through 7th, now it's 3rd through 6th, and 4th and 5th are side by side as they head on down to the chicane. Well, we know last time we saw this, it ended in tears. Hopefully it doesn't this time. Oh, it will.
Oh my goodness me. Yeah, prepare the tissues. There was almost some tears there as Marco Kika runs wide in the back of shot there. Now, will Cortinemi and Hysada have damage? Well, Hysada goes wide. I think they've got problems and they're dropping off quickly. It's Cortinemi going to... Well, the steering's straight. That's always a good sign. The iconic red Lotus steering wheel, absolutely perfectly straight there on Hysada's car. Hopefully Cortinemi's in the same spot, but that's just taken the wind out of Cortinemi's sails, because look at Guyson. Guyson's gone. He's 10 car lengths up the road, and he's now the man who's got to put the pressure on Schumacher. 5 laps to go here at Zandvoort. Let's have a look at the leaders then. And, oh, we're coming up against lap traffic. And it's a terrible spot to... Oh, dearie me. Oh, we've got to try and get through here at turn 9. The lap car does the very best it can. Brilliant stuff there to make some room for the leaders to come through. I think that was the 28 of Byrne. Brilliant stuff. So, Olenek refuses to blink here. Can Trengrade make that move? We've seen him do a dress rehearsal into Tarzan, into turn 1, but can he make the move stick? And when will he try it?
Yeah, that was good driving by Trengrade there. You know, a lesser driver would have seen the leader get bulked by a lap car and thought, now's my opportunity to try and make a move, but it was never going to happen. There was really only one line through that corner, and Rob Olenek had it. Trengrade recognised that, backed off, made sure they got through the lap traffic cleanly, and now he can resume his battle, of which he has 4 laps left to try and find a way by Olenek. Again, I think Trengrade's theory here is he could make a move for the lead, but it would be an aggressive one, and I don't think he wants to risk that yet. He might risk it on the final lap, but I think right now he's waiting to see.
Taken out, which was so unfortunate. And, well, he'll be wanting to set that right here. 4 laps to go. This has been a brilliant duel by the Dutch seaside here at Zandvoort. Not too far from Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. It's actually not too far as the crow flies from the southeast coast of England, actually. It's not too far at all, indeed. But it's a beautiful circuit, and these guys are just mastering it in these very, very fickle, very, very difficult machines. Absolutely no driver aids whatsoever. A long time before those. In fact, Girling drum brakes as well, which is, oh goodness, the braking performance of these cars, primitive, shall we say, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, they have... We got a battle for 8th place on track here. We haven't really paid much attention to the tail end of the top 10 today because the action's been so thick in the at the very front of the field. But here we go, Michael Cook and Colin Bentley running in solid top 10 positions, and 8th place up for grabs in the closing laps for them.
Yeah, Colin Bentley running exactly where he started is the Briton. Really strong driver is Colin, trying to put as much pressure as he can on Cook up ahead. But back to the leaders then, Olenek and Trengrade are still separated. Looks like that timing screen is frozen. It's not. It's just that the battle is so frozen now. Look at this. Yuri Geisen is re-energized. We saw him leading this pack in 3rd position for quite a while and then made a little bit of an error and dropped back. But he's now right on the case of Andreas Schumacher. And, well, is he going to make me, Peter Mackay, a liar, or is he going to make Sam Ryman a liar? Let's find out.
The problem, these two, I really don't know what's going to happen here. The problem they risk, of course, is if they battle too hard, that will allow the drivers in 5th, 6th and 7th to run them down again. Honestly, I think that's going to happen Courtenay is running them both down as they worry about each other for 3rd place. So this may end up being a 3 or 4 car battle for that final podium position by the end here. I have to wait and see. They're coming to 2 to go. I can tell you the leaders in the final turn right now are about to get the 2 to go sign.
Brilliant camera work there, using my favourite Dougie Beard camera angle, Cosworth DFV cam. Fantastic. You can ride on board on top of that wonderful V8 musical instrument that sits in the back of this car, and it really was revolutionary at the time, and it changed Grand Prix racing for good. Back to the leaders we go then. Olenek still leads. 2 laps to go here at Zandvoort. When is Trengrade going to make the move? I suspect that if he can get that move done on the white flag on the last lap into turn 1, hopefully he'll then be able to hold off Olenek for the rest of the lap. But who knows? They've got lap traffic up ahead. Is that going to be a factor? It must be. That is the number 25 car up ahead of Carlson. Just going to... Well, does he get out the way? Yes, he does. And they catch him at a perfect point where it's nice and wide and they go through unencumbered. Brilliant stuff. And are about to take the white flag next time around. Is Trengrade going to make the move?
And Randy Hugh may end up being another lap car. We got almost to the end of this broadcast without a pun, and he said an engine was revolutionary. So, yeah, we might have to block you for that one. All right. Engine block.
I wish I'd done that one on purpose, because I do love a good pun, Sam. I'm disappointed in myself that I missed that one. Damn.
Here we go, final lap.
Here we go. Right now, he learns to stick me there.
Yeah, we'll discuss it later.
Here goes Trengrade then, but this could really put a spanner in the works for Trengrade as they head down to Tarzan. Here he goes. He's going to try. There's lap traffic. Oh, this is big. Olenek goes wide. Olenek goes wide, but can he square it back off? He can. Oh my goodness me! Now for Trengrade, we knew he was going to try that move, but there was lots of lap traffic up ahead, and I wonder if that maybe just gave that 1% of hesitancy there for Ovi Trengrade.
Yeah, that was definitely Trengrade's best opportunity. There is one more lap car just ahead, the driver running in 19th place. They're halfway through this final lap, though. They're running out of passing opportunities. Olenek driving defensively. The next couple corners go to the right. He just needs to try and cover the inside here.
Right, in turn 9 they go then.
Sideways.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of a wiggle there from Olenek, but he can just about defend, tuck it in tight, back on the gas. This is maybe the last chance for Trengrade now, coming down into the chicane. It's a very tough place to pass, but there is an opportunity. Is he going to have a look? He's not close enough. Olenek really strong on the brakes there. Can he tuck it down to the apex? Yes, he can. Last chance then for Ovi Trengrade, but Rob Olenek has just been so solid. Oh, we've got a lap car, but I think we're just going to have enough time to get to the Ari Lewandijk bend here. We do. Oh, goodness me, it's going to be a stretch to the line, but I think Rob Olenek is going to take it. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Rob Olenek takes the checkered flag in a classic race here at Zandvoort, and back to Andre Schumacher in third place right now, not in second, don't worry, he's in third place. He has held off Yuri Geisen, Cortinemi and his Sada all the way through this race, and Andre Schumacher in the Matra Tyrrell is going to take the last spot on the podium. What a beautiful drive of the season for Andre Schumacher.
Yeah, watching the rest of the drivers cross the line here, I'm still keeping an eye on the battle for 8th place. Michael Cook is going to take that by less than a second. But yeah, the real passing opportunity there on the final lap was Tarzan. We saw the leader go in a little too deep, but he was able to recover it just in time and cross the line ahead. And yeah, so Tarzan on the final lap, we knew that's what it was going to come down to, and it could have all changed there, but they held station, and here we go. We just completed a fantastic race here at Zandvoort.
Okay, we're going to take a very short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back very soon with official results and hopefully some driver interviews. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Zandvoort, where we have been treated to a brilliant battle once again here in the Grand Prix Legends series on the Global Sim Racing channel. Rob Olenek in the number one machine edges out Ovi Trengerade after a superb battle where neither driver blinked at all race long. But my driver of the day has got to be Andre Schumacher. Holds off pressure all race long to take the last spot on the podium. Brilliant stuff from the German ace. Yuri Geisen was fourth, another solid drive for Yuri with Topi Kortenemi in fifth. Togo Hisada was sixth with Marco Kika seventh, not quite recovering after that small little mistake at the chicane. Michael Cook was eighth, followed by Colin Bentley and Laust Olsen. Sam?
Yeah, here we go. 11th through 20th, we have Terry Worth, Chris Hengler, Emmanuel Pereira, John Olsen, and John Van Dorn rounding out the top 15. Dave Cohen, Andrew Eng, Michael Grisinga, and Roland Wallybank round out the cars on the lead lap, 19 in total. Kudos to all of these drivers for surviving a tricky race. We really didn't give them a lot of camera time because, of course, of all the battling up front. 20th place, the first car lap down was Randy Hugh, and then we end up with the final page of drivers here, including the drivers at the tail end who might want to forget today's race. But one driver who won't want to forget it, Peter, you've caught up with our race winner, Rob Olenek.
I have indeed. Rob, welcome to the GSRC commentary box. What a superb drive. How did you find that one?
Found it outstanding. Uwe drove great. It's exciting to finally be back in the win column. It's been quite a while, and Uwe made me really fight for it.
He certainly did. He looked to be doing a couple of dress rehearsals for a move at Tarzan. I mean, tell us about that last lap where we thought he was going to make a move, but there was a lot of lap traffic. Tell us about it from the driver's seat.
I knew he was waiting. He definitely was testing it in different areas and letting it go. And even in turn one, when we went through too wide, he just, pulled up. He could have challenged into the, I don't know what number turn that is, 3, whatever. But with the lap traffic on that final lap was definitely getting in my head a little too, going, oh no, what's going to happen? And it probably actually benefited me, and it kind of probably messed up his chance for making the move. But he's patient. I mean, some of my best battles I've ever had in iRacing are with Uwe, and he's just such a classy guy and great racer, man. That guy can turn it on too when he needs to.
Well, you guys have just been consistent front runners all season. We're 4 rounds in, and the one thing that strikes me, and I'm sure to all our viewers, Rob, is just the wheel-to-wheel respect. These are tricky cars to drive, and any contact at all can be potentially terminal. I mean, just give our listeners an impression of what it's like to race in this series from a respect point of view, because from our seat, it looks a treat.
It's the best series I've ever raced in by far. I've done all the classic series too. Maybe it's the older car and slightly older driver, a little more mature. I think the car's really tough, but when you drive it for a while, you know the limits. Even the guys that haven't driven for a while, you give a little more space. You really want everyone to finish. I mean, it's like you're out here racing with a group of your friends. You don't want to see anyone else do bad. You want to beat them all, but you really want to see everyone do well. So, I mean, I think that's probably how the majority of the guys in this series think. And that's probably why people make mistakes, and we'll have accidents and contacts, we're racing, that's going to happen, but you're not seeing people be overly aggressive, and you're not people seeing take risks, I don't know. That's basically my view on it, and that's how it is. Like Uwe, I would say, is definitely one of the safest guys when I go head to head. I know that he's going to give me space, and I'm going to try my best to give him his space. We absolutely just want to battle and no contacts. Mick is a little tougher. He's clean, but he doesn't give you as much space. Like he'll give you the inside when you go too wide, but he's going to be in the middle of the track, and you might have like a few inches and you got to keep your line. So he makes it tougher. That's one of the reasons I missed Mick this week, because this track, it tends to keep you together. Almost no matter what you do, even if you're a little faster than someone else, the guy's going to be on your tail and vice versa. It's really hard to pass, but you end up staying together and have great racing. And I think if Mick was here, he probably would have been, a tenth or so seconds on average faster than us, but we would have been a battle of three of us to the end today. So can't wait for him to come back too. But it is nice that he did take a little short break and let me have a win.
That was generous of him, wasn't it? No, it was 100% deserved, Rob, and it's an absolute joy to call the races here on GSRC. Before we let you go to go and enjoy that victory, who would you like to shout out to here on the Global Sim Racing channel?
You guys definitely. I think you guys are. It's too bad Ryan wasn't here today too, because I think he's spectacular. But you guys are. I think you guys are the best commentators of all of the series. I watch most of the classic races every week, and I think you guys do the best job. I really enjoy watching it back afterwards. I also the community period, all the guys, even back that aren't still racing and only race occasionally. I mean, everyone is awesome in this community. And I do race for Dirty Torque Racing too, so I'm going to thank those guys too. And but thanks a lot, guys. And someone else coming on to interview after this?
No, you've got the solo show as the
guys. Someday we got to get Uwe in here. I really want Uwe to come on. Yeah, I've tried. Same with Michelle. Gotta get Michelle on here too. Mick comes in every week, no matter what. And I didn't want to come back until I got a win again, and I was trying so hard. I'll be back without wins in the future, but we got to get more guys on here. I'm sure there was more good battles today.
Oh, there was plenty. Well, we look forward to having a chat once again, Rob. Congratulations on the great win, and hopefully we'll chat again very, very soon.
Okay, see you later, guys.
So that was our race winner, Rob Olenek, telling us all about what has been a fantastic race and season so far here in the Grand Prix Legends series. That's about all we have time for today on the Global Sim Racing channel. A big thank you must go to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcasts, and you can see them listed here on your screen. An additional thank goes to June Lalonde, who provides all of our wonderful music. Have a look on the screen of how you can get hold of more of her great work. A huge thank you goes to Sam, Sean and Dougie for their excellent work today on the broadcast. If you'd like to find more about us here at the Global Sim Racing channel, including our upcoming races, you can find out information on our website, globalsimracingchannel.com, or check out our social media. Twitter is @GSR Channel, Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel, Instagram, GSRC_Gram. You can also represent GSRC by getting hold of some GSRC merchandise at gsrcstoreenvy.com. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page and hit the big red subscribe button as well, so you never miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll see you next week for the Lotus 49 Series Grand Prix Legends, same time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, next Saturday. We look forward to seeing you there. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.